Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia, and this is your channel. I am Soma, Nectar of the Gods, and so are you. Today, I want to review the current lunar cycle and the events that are taking place as we speak. The moon is on a crest, meaning that the wave of the new moon, its power, its influence, its dynamism is increasing, and it does so after the first quarter square, which just took place on the 14th of July. And we are now truly in a wave that is cresting with power. The portal has opened. That first quarter square that took place on the 13th has bestowed us an opportunity to engage and to ride the wave of power and energy potential that is present in the sign where the moon will go full, and that is in the sign of Capricorn. And the sign of Capricorn represents authority figures, structures in our life, the law, or you're a law unto yourself and being able to claim that. It rules over the elderly, the working class, the structures that we have created in our lives that withhold the space upon which we take action. And that can be most likely, it'll have something to do with career and work, the law, government, authority. All of these are significators of this, of the Capricornian directive, right? So the moon is in the square is a 90-degree angle. At this time, the moon, a day and a half to 2 days later, the moon moves into a phase where there's more ease and there's more potential that is being awakened for the entire lunar cycle. And so at this time, what we imagined during the days before the new moon and at the new moon, that inspiration and enthusiasm that we had for creating something new. And this happened in Cancer, so it was at the foundation of our life. It could have been our family, our home, our physical home, the home, which is our physiology, our physical body. It could be a connection that you experience with Mother Earth, which is also our home, or with the entire galaxy. At its highest expression, the Cancerian directive is the awakening of an emotion of wholeness. It is literally, it used to be represented in Egypt by the scarab being that beetle which would make its way out of the mud, out of its own dung, this muddy dung, and would ascend to higher dimensions. And remember that these dimensions exist within us. We can either be operating from a very base survival place, which has its correspondence in our base chakra, or in the amygdala, if we were to bring the neuroscience of these ancient arts and sciences to bear. And the solar plexus is yet a different way of operating in the world. The heart is a different way of operating in the world. When your throat is open, you have greater ability to manifest. And so that's a completely different ability that opens up in the world, which makes us more aware of what we're giving voice to, because we understand the power that the word has to bring into fruition that which we mobilize through speech. So back to the beetle. So the beetle makes it out of its own dung, and as a result of that, it ascends to a higher level of functioning. And so within our own life, we also have an opportunity during this lunar cycle to ascend to not take things so personally, perhaps not to be so. Emotions are important. Emotions are, after all, data. It's knowledge. It gives us information about memories, past events that have impacted us or influenced us in some way. And these memories can easily become attached to belief systems, which later may hold one prisoner to more effective ways of being in the world, because we believe that things always work out this way. Why the bad things always happen to me, people say. And so believing or understanding life in that way will only magnify it, because after all, whatever we put our attention on grows in our life, which is a maxim. And we want to be able to move away from that. After the new moon, the moon quickly became connected to Venus, which is our self-worth, the things that we value. It is about beauty, it is about balance, it is about relationships. But the most important relationship that you can have is the one that you have with yourself. And actually, that awareness of that relationship and the way that you carry that relationship within is inevitably going to impact the relationship that you have with your pet, with the doorknob, with the materials that you have been given to work with in life. And so the relationship that we have with ourselves, how you treat one thing is how you treat everything. And so if you're treating things with disrespect, lack of value, you're not appreciating, you're not in a place of gratitude, then that's going to have a deep impact in what you're going to be able to create during this lunar cycle, given the fact that the moon got imprinted with the beautiful Venusian energy, which has just emerged from the impulses of the sun, meaning that it is more magnetic, more attractive, and has the potential to bring into life things that you may have only dreamed of, have now just become an option for manifestation. So we want to be able to pay attention to those things so that we can give things their proper value, their proper due. And so that Venus was directly in opposition to Pluto. And Pluto, the Lord of death and transformation, is only 1 degree away from this full moon, which is taking place at 29 degrees of Capricorn, with Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. This is a very potent degree, both. And while Vedic astrology will tell us that a planetary alignment at a later degree within a chart is very old and can't really help us, the same thing can be said for Pluto, which is at a very early degree, at 1 degree. So it's very it's embryonic, really. It's at a very early stage of development to be able to assist us in matters related to the sign where it's presenting, which is Aquarius. But it brings incredible knowledge and wisdom from the entire trajectory that it's had throughout the sign of Capricorn since 2007, 2008, where folks who have a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant have experienced a huge transformation, a painful perhaps transformation, because this transformative energy does not come without sacrifice. And when you sacrifice, when you actually place something on the altar of the mind to transform and transmute it, the very fact that it's going through a transmutation means that it's going to be altered. And so it will alter you, it will alter your spirit, it'll alter the way that you process information within the heart, within the mind, within your physiology. It's all impacted. And so at this full moon, we are going to see something related to your self-worth and how you carried that throughout this lunar cycle. This lunar cycle was loaded. After that conjunction with Venus, it had a conjunction with Mercury, the intellect. What is it that you're devoting your time to? What is it that you're marketing within your own mind? What is it that you're selling to yourself? Mercury rules over these merchants, messengers, vehicles, the vehicle of your mind, the vehicle of your body, the vehicle that you drive, the vehicle of the things that you use. These are all vehicles for the accomplishment of our goals. So how have you valued them, and how are you using them for the purpose of your own creative endeavors and your own leadership, which is what Leo represents? And here we're looking at the inner child, the eternal child within all of us who want to shine. Our child wants to shine. We want to shine wherever we go. We want to bring our light, and we want to have it come to bear on the events that are taking place around us. And so how are you engaged? How have you engaged with that impulse within yourself over the lunar cycle? This happened on July the 5th. We are now on the 17th of July, and the full moon, the fullness of time, is coming on the 21st, which is on Sunday. So what happens when this is going to be illuminated? And so an illumination of the moon that has transited at a very early stage during its crescent stage, when it is most impressionable, when it is most inspired, when it is most inspired to perform the calling of its spirit, how did you value yourself? And that is going to be all too evident to you when this full moon happens in the sign of Capricorn, with Saturn so close by, with Pluto so close by, and the moon. So did the transformation take place? Did you sacrifice what needed to leave, the patterns of behavior that are no longer serving you, that needed to change? Today, just yesterday, we had the moon in Scorpio. Are you obsessed? Are you compulsive? Are you jealous? Are you envious? Because these are the sacrifices. The sign of Scorpio, the highest expression of Scorpio, is illumination, is to pick up the Kundalini energy and the Shakti essence, and really bring it to light, to bear on these lizards that have no place in our life. And unless you were able to rise above the obsession, right? So let's put it in the positive. When you're able to, as you rise above the obsessions, as you rise above the lie, as you rise above, and this requires incredible profound emotional honesty, because you have to be able to look at the contents of your thought and decide where it is that you're going to make or break the pattern. And in order to do that, you need to be aware. You need to be self-aware. So it's a process of self-discovery that we have engaged in this lunar cycle that will come to bear at the full moon on the 21st. And on the 21st, it happens really early in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. But before we get to the fullness of time, some of the significations, I'm going to take a look at my notes, is the moon must shed its petals in order to be fully illuminated. And the petals are the significations of the signs that the moon will transit during its growth in light towards full moon. So first it was in Leo, we've gone over that. Libra, it went over Venus. That was his first visit. The first avatar, the first archetype, the first energetic potential that you and I carry, that we're on that crescent lunar boat, was the energy of the power of balance, the power of beauty, the power of harmony, the power of partnership with your higher self, right? So that you can transverse with some buoyancy the deep, dark waters of Scorpio, which we've just gone over, right? That jealousy, that movement towards I can't, or I don't have enough, and why do they have more, and why are they looking like that, and I want to be the one. That kind of mental process that doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve the people around you either. we all influence one another. And so the higher you rise, the higher you can bring your vibration to bear on those that you love and are here to influence. Otherwise, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. And people know who you are because they feel you when you walk in. And they may not tell you, but they know. And so now the moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, and this gives us an opportunity to hold on to some philosophical underpinning, some understanding, wisdom gained through experience that will allow you to build a way, awaken the inner teacher, the inner guru, right? Awaken that inner gnosis within you that knows which way to go. And that also requires a deep practice in some of the traditions of self-awareness that allow you to transcend the relative third dimensional level of reality, which is based on a thought process that has not been curated by spiritual knowledge and the spiritual sciences, right? So when we meditate and we engage in this practice of self-love, and we do so consciously, we are curating our own awareness to be able to bring it out into that relative level of consciousness that where we meet the world, where we understand that we're not of it. We are in it, but we're not of that level of frequency. And so it allows us to circumvent and to move around like water, like the Tao, right? So we want to be able to move effortlessly around these experiences without getting tripped up and awakening the triggers in our consciousness, which have us believing that it's personal and that people are out to get us, and you know how the story goes. So these are the ways that we're able to navigate these immense waves that is cresting at this time. And if today you have the time to read about a philosopher or sacred scripture, or listen to inspiring music that makes you feel like all things are possible, then that's what you want to nurture during the time that we are approaching this full moon. Jupiter right now is not in its favorite. I believe Jupiter, let me look really quickly and tell you exactly where Jupiter is, or I would not be doing you a service. So Jupiter is interesting. It's directly opposite the moon over for the next couple of days. So Jupiter will be bringing that expansive, adventurous essence, that guru, that self-teacher, that inner knowing to bear on all things adventurous and really coloring outside the lines, where you are at your most creative and at your very, very best. Jupiter does not necessarily, Jupiter's expansiveness in an air sign, it's the ruler of a fire sign, can grow, it can get too much. Jupiter's about wisdom. Gemini is the student. Jupiter's the teacher. So here, and Mercury is in Leo, where it's seeking out leadership and to shine in some aspect of life. It depends on which house the sign of Leo is in your chart. So this is a time for really taking care of your inner child and the love of your heart and how it is that you want to express the love in this world. Following that trajectory in Sagittarius, the moon is going to peak wave in Capricorn. And in the Vedic, this is all tropical that I've been sharing, but I want to take note that in the Vedic system, this full moon is the Guru Purnima moon, and it is actually taking place in Abhijit, a very not well-known nakshatra, lunar mansion of the Vedic calendar, and it is the nakshatra of victory. And so there is great potential here. Pay attention, dot your I's, cross your T's, be in a place of self-awareness and self-discovery. Do not falter into escapism. The beauty of life is sacred. We are so I spoke a lot in the previous, I had a rant on the frequency and the energetic potential. I must have said that a million times in that video. And that's because I filmed it on a day that the moon was very close to that Uranus-Mars conjunction. And so I was electrified. But what I can tell you about this moon is that that energy potential is still present. The petals are untouched, meaning that the moon has not gone full. And that energy that the moon picked up as a result of that conjunction, the moon was sitting right opposite that conjunction. The conjunction of Uranus, the avant-garde, innovative, rebellious, revolutionary, scientist, innovator, that force, combined with the force of Mars, which actually Mars was debilitated due to its Western tropical placement in Taurus, where it's kind of like it's just come off this fire high in Aries, and now it hits the ground, and it's, it doesn't feel as fired up. How are you maintaining momentum so that you can bring into this moon that is cresting that full frequency out to play? And when I say play, I mean invest in the things that you want to bring into your life that are related to Capricornian themes of career, of accomplishment, of I'm a Capricorn rising. So I know this energy well. And after the transmutation that we've been through with Pluto there, you are due a good prize at the end of this sojourn that we've all been through. So the beauty of life is sacred. Do not forget that. Feed the soul on love and it will grow. The soul of your dreams, the soul of your desire, the soul of that which inspired you at the beginning of the lunar cycle. That's what you want to give life to right now. And deepen your commitment to that inspiration. Remember the enthusiasm. Do not be discouraged. Courage is of essence. And we have the planet of courage, the spiritual warrior, conjunct Uranus in a place where it may have not been feeling too courageous, but that electricity will heighten the voltage in any matter, in any matter. Taurus, the sign of matter, right, and of sustenance. So, and there's a feast that is being prepared for celebration at the full moon. So much has already been achieved. Keep the faith, if ever. The GOAT, greatest of all time. The GOAT is alive in you, in an area of your life. Look at your chart, and that is the place where you can expect a huge transformation, a huge revelation of mammoth proportions and truth to illuminate your spirit and your soul for the full moon ahead. With so much love in my heart, thank you so much for listening. I'm so pleased to be here and be able to share this. This is my personal notebook. I am sharing my journal with you with the best of intentions for a fabulous move into Sunday. So between now and that time, stay well, take care of each other and of yourself. Much love. Bye. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video or you felt inspired by it. I'm just saying. Much love. Bye.